First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Washem Yahushai, Washem Rakakodash. The honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways pushing this word now, sincerity and truth. The sisters, the believers, the helps. Shalom. This is the brother Iron from James Jamaica camp. Coming with another quick lesson. The title of this one is going to be Are You Fully Persuaded? And this lesson goes for myself first and foremost. As the scriptures say, he that teacheth others does not thou teach thyself. So definitely going for me first and foremost. It's just a question that we need to ask ourselves. Are we fully persuaded? Because brothers will experience it. Or out here we experience it a lot, where people pass the camp and they'll say, hey, where are the women, or are you getting paid, or they'll ask, if they basically want to know, what's in it for you, why are you doing this, and this is why one of the things that the Lord did in regards to this salvation was based upon the foolishness of preaching, and also it actually requires suffering. Because if you're truly convinced that this is the truth, if you're truly convinced that this is the right way, regardless of what comes to you or comes against you, you would actually stand up to it if you're fully persuaded in your own mind. And that is why we always say that, look, even though, we check upon brothers, we look out for brothers, the scripture say that it's the path is dangerous, that one man can go at a time. Every man will have to actually walk their own walk. Everyone has their own journey to go through. But to make it, you definitely need to be persuaded in your own mind. So let's get straight to the precepts. This is Romans 14 and verse 5. It says, one man esteemeth one day above another, another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. And that is the thing. We know what we believe in. We know what the truth is. We through Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakodash, the mercies, which is the understanding of this doctrine through faith in Yahweh Shai, we know what these things are. Now, if it's a case that we say we truly know and we are truly persuaded, then there are certain things that we will be required of us, especially in these last days when the prophecies are popping off. If you truly believe there's a certain level of conduct that you should be displaying, it will actually show. And believe me, if it's a case that you're funking you're doing the funking in this day and age, at this time, the days that are to come will prove it. And that is why it's important to as Apostle Gabar will say, know what you're about. Or knowing, he usually say a lot of guys don't know what they're involved in. So let's just take a quick look on the word persuaded or fully persuaded. Right, fully persuaded. Salakia, let's play the Greek.
Strong's G 4135. Play Rafareo.
So the first definition says to bear, to bring fully, to make full, to cause a thing to be shown to full. So if you realize the first definition goes what? To bear something, right? It says to carry through to the end, right? C says to fill one with any thought, conviction, or inclination, to make one certain, to persuade, to convince, to be persuaded, fully convinced or assured, to render inclined or bent on. So is it the question that we need to ask ourselves, hey, are we certain that we believe in this truth? Are we certain that we have faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai? Because the day will come when all of that will be proven. Right? And that is why, for the current things or the current conduct, making it to camp, being brotherly, doing your videos, right? Conducting yourself, managing your household a certain way, conducting yourself a certain way, all these things, prove from now whether or not you're fully persuaded. Regardless of how many times do you fall, do you get back up? When you go off, do you repent? When you're in a good state, do you praise the Most High? When you're in a bad state, do you pray for the Lord to deliver you? That level of spirit and conduct through application of the scriptures. Because really that's all what it boils down to. If you're fully persuaded in your own mind, you'll be applying these precepts and the standards and the guidance set of the men of the Lord. You'll actually follow that to the best of your ability. And we will be blessed with great leaders, right? So let's look at the first root of the word, right? It says to fill up, right? C says this of the soul thoroughly permeated with. So it says full, complete, lacking nothing, perfect, right? And let's look up the second definition. It says to bear constantly, to wear of clothing, garments, or armor. As we know that righteousness and judgment is like garments and armor. The scripture also say in Ephesians, it says the armor of the Most High, right? Brothers know what I'm talking about. The shield of faith, the breastplate of righteousness, Also, Yahushua is the armor of light, right? But let's continue to see how far it goes. It says tribute, annual tax upon houses, lands, and persons. And if you look up the word duty, part of it goes to something that is owed, right? So it's also a form of tribute. So are we doing are we really paying tribute to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai through our actions, through the application of these scriptures? And here's the key definition. It says to carry some burden, to bear with oneself, to move by bearing, move or to convey or borne with the suggestion of force or speed, right? Of a person born in a ship over the sea, right? It says the third definition says of the mind to be moved inwardly or prompted. Does this truth move you? Does it prompt you to actually apply what you have learned or what you have heard? Does it build your faith? Right? It says to bear up, to hold up, keep from falling, of Hamashiach, the preserver of the universe. Right? Second definition, to bear, to endure, right? To endure a rigor of a thing, to bear patiently one's conduct or spare one, abstain from punishment or destroying. So it goes into what? Patience and conduct. And it says endure a rigor of a thing. Endure the rigor of a thing. Right? In Peter it tells you that think it not strange when any strange affliction should come upon you. Right? To bring forward, to move. Right? It says to lead, to conduct, to bring forth, to produce, to bring forward in a speech. Right? So when you're fully persuaded, your mind or your soul is filled with this doctrine, where you're actually willing to bear that mantle, to bear that burden of actually fulfilling the duty of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. It's all about endurance, right? And I just thought of a precept that Yahushai said, bear his cross. I'm gonna find it real quick, Salakia. This is Matthew chapter Salakia. Matthew chapter 16 verse 24. Then said Yahushua unto his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. So will you truly defend your deny yourself for Yahushua's sake? Will you take up which is your cross, and actually follow him despite what you are going through? That is what true persuasion does. If you truly believe, you watch a lot of movie and I watch a lot of animes, and one thing I observe in any cause, those who those it shows, that whether whosoever the character is, the theme or concept of conviction is always there. There has to be something that you're convicted to, or you're convinced of, and actually based on what you truly believe and have faith in and hold dear to, you actually push towards it and bear all the burdens that come with that course of conduct or that particular path. And that is the thing, that is a part of bearing your cross. Despite all the hell that we go through, despite all the hell that is coming, we truly believe that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is our power and our Lord, and there's a reward at the end of the day, even though we are unprofitable servants. Therefore, we will ensure that we fulfill His will to the best of our ability by having full faith, right? And this is not something that you can do of yourself. You understand that. Are you praying? Are you fasting? That is also a part of you being fully persuaded in your own mind, right? So let me get one word quickly from the Merriam-Webster dictionary, and then I will get the other precepts real quickly. So I did look up the word persuaded, and I'm going to go with the first definition. It says to move by argument, entreaty, or expostulation to a belief, position, or a course of action, right? Which is what? This truth, pushing towards the kingdom of heaven and preaching the doctrine and the word of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? Fully, joining, wanting to be a part of the house of the Lord, right? So that's it for the word persuaded. Now let's get back to the scriptures. This is the next precept I'm going to go by is 1 Corinthians chapter 1, and let's start at verse 18. Because this is why a lot of men leave, because of the ridicule and the affliction, right? But as we said, the days to come will actually prove your heart. Now this is 1 Corinthians 1 verse 18. For the preaching of the cross is to them that perish foolishness, but unto us that are saved but unto us which are saved it is the power of the Most High. And that is why people don't understand why we do these videos, why we go out on the highways and byways, why we don't eat pork, why we're not of the world, why we don't do certain things, why we do certain things, because it seems foolish unto them. And the things that we say, even though the prophecies are fulfilling before their eyes, right, they still would neglect it. But that's prophecy nonetheless, as this is only for the elect. Verse 19, for it is written, I will destroy the wisdom of the wise, and will bring to nothing the understanding of the prudent. Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this world? Had not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? For after that in wisdom of God, for after that in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God. It pleased the Most High by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe. And that is part of the things that come with the truth. The ridicule. A lot of people see it as what? Foolishness. Therefore, the Most High that's one way to actually prove if you're fully persuaded. Despite what everybody else thinks, despite what everybody else is doing, will you still persevere and push on? Despite with the RFID chip, despite the fact that you're hungry, despite the fact that you may be tortured, despite the fact that you may be put to death, will you still put the Lord first? Are you fully persuaded that Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is Lord and He's the ultimate power, and that you definitely get once you follow them, then all will be well? Those are the things that we have to consider, right? Now the next precept is 1 Corinthians chapter 3, right? And let me start at verse 9. Let me start at verse 9. It says, for we are laborers together with the Most High. Ye are God's husbandry, ye are God's building. According to the grace which is given unto me as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation, and another buildeth thereon. But let every man take heed how he build thereupon. Right? And that is the thing. Based on based on your level of persuasion, or depend on if you're fully persuaded, you're gonna build according. For other foundation can no man lay than that is laid, which is Yahushua Mashiach. Now if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day shall declare it, because it shall be revealed by fire, which is the tribulation, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. Right? And it's the same thing in the days to come. The afflictions, all the persecution, it serves to do two things. One, if you endure it, it will help you to purge all your iniquity, and it's also there to test and prove that you are this particular substance. So if you break, then probably your hay, wood, or stubble. But if you actually endure and then you're purged, then you may be a precious stone, silver, or gold. But at the end of the day, the affliction is going to come and try it. Right? It says, if any man's work abide which he had built, thereupon he shall receive a reward. Right? If any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet as by fire. So the point is that every man's the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. And the Lord will try every man to see of what sort they are. Right? As we're all vessels in the Lord's house, as it's stated in Timothy. Right? Let me see if I can actually get that real quickly. Yeah, 2 Timothy 2 verse 20. It says, but in a great host there are not only vessels of gold and of silver, but also of wood and of earth, and some to honor and some to dishonor. If a man therefore purge himself from these, he shall be a vessel unto honor, sanctified and meet for the master's use, and prepared unto every good work. And it goes down to actually list out of the things that you want to be purged from, and all those things. But the point is there, it's going to prove, the day to come is going to prove what material we are made of. And that's why being fully persuaded in your own mind is important, because another brother can't prove it for you. This is between you and Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and how persuaded and how serious you are about your calling, right? Or how serious we are about our calling. Let me say it like that, right? Now the next precept. What's the next precept? Let me get it real quickly. Alright, let me get firstly. Yeah, let me get that and this, then this. Alright, so next precept is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, and starting at verse 1. It says, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure. And notice it says set thy heart aright, meaning your mind. Right? So you have to basically be fully persuaded in your own mind. That way you can constantly endure. Right? Now it says set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Because this will prove, if you truly believe in the Most High, this is what you'll do. You'll cleave unto him. But if not, and the tribulation come upon you and you let go, it shows that you did not really believe. Right? It says, whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully. Be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. So you see that? That furnace of adversity is what will prove what we will be in those days to come. Right? So which begs once again, are we fully persuaded in our own minds? Or are you doing this because you get some kind of fame, some kind of glory, or because you feel accepted? Or are you doing it to be seen of men? All these are the things that we should be asking ourselves while we examine ourselves in these latter days. Right? Alright, so let me go to the next precept, which is Jeremiah chapter 17. Right? This is Jeremiah 17 verse 10. It says, I, Yahweh, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. Now, based on what is in your mind, that will actually determine your actions. If you're fully persuaded in your mind, then you'll do the actions of those that are that love the Most High. But if you're not fully persuaded in your own mind, it shall be proven, and you will get your reward nonetheless. May not be a good one, but there's as the scripture states, right? Yahweh searched the heart, I tried the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings. Because all of that starts where? In the mind, right? And let me get the final precept, just to seal it off, right? Where are we? Just had it. All right, Isaiah 48 verse 10, it says, behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. And let's look up the word refine, and let's look up the word affliction. Right, it says smelt, refine, test. Right, the third definition says test, to test and prove true. To prove if we are truly men of the Lord. That is what these tribulations and the ones to come are going to prove true, whether or not we are actually men of the Lord, right? But once again, to overcome, we have to be fully persuaded in our own minds, and that's something that you have to pray about, right? Now, when you go down to the Hebrew Chaldees lexicon, it says to purge gold or silver, and the second definition says metaphorically to prove, to examine anyone. Also to purge, right? To be purified. That is why I said that it's both to purify and also to prove. Now, if you can't be purified, then you actually break or burn or basically get pushed away. It means that you weren't up to scratch. You weren't up to what was needed. But if you endure and you actually be purged, and actually endure, as it says earlier, to bear, to endure, to carry, then it will be proven. The test, it will be proved true that you are indeed a man of the Lord, or we are indeed men of the Lord, right? And let's look up the word affliction. As I say, it will prove us in the furnace of affliction. It says affliction, poverty, misery, right? So it's going to be the state that we will be in. The state that we're currently in is a miserable state, because wait, as I said, arise and depart, for this is not your rest. We're in Babylon, and greatly polluted. But not only that, the days that are coming, as it says, the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Daniel says in the book of Daniel, it says it's a day that shall that has never been before, right? In Matthew 24 tells you how dreadful it's gonna be, right? However, if you are persuaded in your own mind, then you know that we'll walk in faith, as it says, the just shall live by faith. And that is what being persuaded in your fully persuaded in your own mind means. If you truly have faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and this is what is needed to actually make it out in the days to come, right? So this is what we need to ask ourselves: are we fully persuaded in our own minds? Right? Because the days to come will actually prove it. The days to come, the Lord is going to actually put us in those situations to actually prove what manner of men we are, right? So, just something to think about, something that I've been thinking about. Hope this is exhorting to the brothers. And once again, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bashem Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways pushing this word in all sincerity and truth, the sisters, the believers, the helps. Shalom.